Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
Pump up the jig, yo, pump it up, yo, pump it. Y'all ready for this? I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Give it up.
Welcome everyone to South Kitsap High School. We're coming to you live tonight on Senior Night. My name is Chris Keogh, and in the booth with me tonight is Robert Meyer. We're going to take it down to the announcements here for the final night for the senior boys.
We would like to take this opportunity to introduce them and to thank their parents for their seniors, for their trust and their support. First, number 50, Richard King, and his parents Richard and Connie. Number 42, Michael Longmire and his mother Gloria. Number 24, Austin Siegel and his parents Don and Janelle. Number 20, Ivan Rybachuk and his parents Ivan and Nina. Number 22, Tion Curry and his parents Thomas and Jackie. We would also like to introduce number 2, our senior manager Justin Lundgren and his parents Don and Barb. Thank you very much, parents. Thank you very much, players. Now, the South Kitsap Band will play the Star Spangled Banner. Gentlemen, please stand and give your hats.
Alright, we're back. We have video back all of a sudden. Yeah. Was it too live? Yeah, Well, it looks like we're about ready to get the party started, Robert. Pretty loud here tonight on senior night. And like I was telling you a bit ago, even though Gig Harbor has had a difficult go of it this year, I'm sure there's no love lost between these two teams.
Rivalry between the two teams here, Gig Harbor and Port Orchard. They had a pretty good game last time they faced on December 16th. However, South Kitsap did lose to Gig Harbor by 1 point.
That's right. It was a 1-point ball game, and definitely home court advantage out in the harbor. And hopefully, being home tonight, that'll give them the edge up, and South Kitsap can come out of here with a good conference win. We're getting to be that time of the season where they need to get these wins. South Kitsap controls the tip. Ricky King. Pretty standard, Robert. Every game that I've seen this year so far, Ricky King for the Wolves, number 5-0, has been the biggest man on the floor.
He will have some good competition tonight, as we have Austin Jenkins from Gig Harbor is 6'6", so he will have some nice competition down there in the post.
Looks like the crowd's getting into it early here. Good dribble drive by that was Zach Hodges. He's a senior, little guy. Correction, that is Robbie Karamatic. They list him at 5'11". I'm going to give him 5'7".
And we'll look for Michael Longmire to get a good game in here. He's had a pair of 20-point games in the last couple games. So
Nice. Senior night, Austin Siegel gets the Wolves on the board. Once again, a reminder, folks, we are coming to you live from the gym at South Kitsap High School this Tuesday evening. Looks like Gig Harbor has a little bit of, they got a few bigger bodies than the last time we were here watching the Stadium Tigers. Looks like the Harbor has a couple guys in the 6'5", 6'6" range down low.
SK with some good D, and Gig Harbor has to get some ball movement in there.
Great defense as the ball goes flying into the band there. Heads up. I think she's going to be all right. Point guard Tyon Curry bringing the ball across the court. Tyon also a senior here, celebrating senior night. Curry fouled on the three-point jumper. I've been informed by the staff it is Tyon Curry, not Tyon Curry. My mistake.
Tion's going up for that three-pointer, and just a little bit of a hard foul there. It'll go to the charity stripe.
So, Robert, anybody on the floor right now, a junior or sophomore, or did the Wolves start 5 seniors for senior night?
It looks like they did. All the starters tonight are seniors.
It's good to see.
That crowd is loving it. They're getting to it early. It looks like a nice game.
Wolves are coming off a win last week against Wilson on Friday night. So they definitely need to pile up these conference wins if they're going to go somewhere in the playoffs this year.
You know, a good record SK has with getting in the playoffs and getting far in the playoffs. We'll see if they can carry that on this year.
That was a tough call. First foul called on the Gig Harbor team. Alan Hodges called for that first foul. That one could have gone either way, but King got the body on him. Was able to draw that foul. Good box out. Longmire off, rebound King, fighting for it. Wolves come up with it. Good board. Loose ball. Ooh.
as I said earlier, there will be some tougher competition down there in the post than we've seen in the past for SK.
Got to think on senior night, though, these guys are going to play with a little bit more intensity. Well, obviously the seniors will, but even the underclassmen, I know how important it is to get that last win in your home gym as a senior. They don't get another game.
Tough call there.
Shifty move by that was Robbie Karamatic. I think I like saying that name, Karamatic. Goes to the line for 2.
Sinks the first one.
Both the free throws down, 3-2 ball game here. A couple minutes down in the first quarter. Gig Harbor stretching it out into that 3-2 zone. Looks like that the Wolves are going to have to try to, work the ball down low. The Gig Harbor is doing a good job of guarding the perimeter.
Looks like a nice battle of point guards there with two highly skilled point guards, looks like there.
It's the Tide, right, Robert? Gig Harbor Tide?
Yes.
I think that's right, yeah. Brutal crowd chanting air ball.
Nice steal there by Robbie Karamatic.
King with the rebound, gives it up to Curry. There we go, working it down low. Drawing the foul.
Austin Siegel drawing the foul. He and Ricky King will be teaming up down there in the post, doing some of the dirty work.
I think given it's senior night, it seems like the Wolves are spending quite a bit of energy in a very short period of time. A lot of adrenaline taking over. I think they'll do a better job of controlling the ball once that kind of cools down a little bit.
Certainly starting off with some butterflies the last game. Yeah, that'll wear off.
Now, you said they have a couple more home games, the Wolves do?
They have one more home game. It was actually rescheduled because of all the weather we've had in the winter.
So they planned, this was already pre-scheduled as the final home game, or would have been the final home game, right? So that's why the senior night, okay.
They travel to Lincoln next week, and then against Shelton for the rescheduled game.
Good hustle by Longmire, just kind of got caught with his hand in the cookie jar there.
We got some substitutions coming in here.
Andy Rothenberg, number 12, checks in. Looks like number 30, Brandon Gagliardi.
With these new substitutions, SK might have a little bit of a size advantage.
Great play off the break there, a little pick and a lob down low.
Nice feed.
Longmire, big board, and the foul. Yeah, it looks like the Wolves are working with a big size advantage right now. Midway through the first quarter, it's the SK Wolves 7 and the Gig Harbor Tide 4. Longmire up and in, make it 8-4.
Tough defense there.
It looked like that ref might have been out of position, might have been a bailout. Good D though, keep it up. And checking in is Gig Harbor's middle linebacker, Alan Hodges. Correction, Austin Jenkins, 6'6", 240. He's like the size of Lofa Tutupu.
He's listed as only a sophomore.
Curry with a steal. He could have gotten that foul called there. Definitely got him with a little bit of body. The Wolves running a full court press now. Try to rattle the point guard. He's bringing the ball across court. He's a good ball handler though. Good baseline move. Tough to get the ball over King though, 6'8".
Not much is gonna get over him.
Oh. You're going to get a reach on Robbie Karamatic again.
That big body inside Austin Jenkins, tough to believe that he's only listed as a sophomore, so looks like a good future for Gig Harbor down there in the post.
Somebody's got a stop ball there. Good D by the Wolves. On the break. Nice. SK running that full court press and then sneaking out a man. It looked like on the backside there. As soon as Gig Harbor breaks the press, they have a cherry picker hanging in the back. So playing tough defense.
Looks like Tion Curry was called for a foul there.
Yeah, and who we got checking in here? Number 32, Joey Ozinski, 6'6" junior, number 32. Another tough call on Curry there. You know, I don't see Gig Harbor matching the Wolves' intensity right now, but there's a fine line between playing a little bit reckless and then playing tight defense. Curry sits down for Isaiah Davis.
There's no question that Wolves are certainly giving a lot of effort here in the early game.
Using that size right there, missing the layup. Good board.
Couple of misses and SK gets the rebound.
Be interested to see how long they leave King on the bench, the Wolves that is, because with King out of the game, that big man, that sophomore's got a pretty big size advantage. So we'll have to see. Again, with the Wolves with another reach, I believe that'll put it to 16 fouls right now.
Yeah, they're coming tough and early, and it might come back to bite them later.
Thing is, Gig Harbor is a pretty good free throw shooting team from what I've seen. So you don't want to put them on the line all day. Count 14-4 SK Wolves with about 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. Man-to-man D tight defense. Thomas doing a good job of moving his feet there on defense, and the Wolves locking him down. 3 in the key called on Jenkins there. That's what that looked like. Gig Harbor running a little midcourt trap. What I've seen from Thomas in the past, though, the sophomore point guard, he's such a good ball handler. It's almost a press breaker in itself. Can't really, you couldn't put 2 guys on him. He's going to dribble right through him.
He makes everyone around him pretty good because he will get that double team on him and then distribute the ball nicely.
Now, this is about as patient as I've seen the Wolves so far in this game, swinging it around trying to get a good shot versus the first shot.
And there is no shot clock in high school basketball, so they can take as much time as they want.
Coming up on 50 seconds left in the first quarter, the Wolves holding on to that 10-point lead. Content to pretty much swing the ball around. Longmire with a great move. He gets his own rebound. Good individual effort. He waited for the crease. They waited long enough, and as soon as they lulled him to sleep, he was able to make that move. Jenkins almost turns it over, makes a great save. Another steal, about 15 seconds and counting on the clock. Thomas holds for 1 shot. 10 seconds left on the clock. 5 seconds and counting. Foot on the baseline, yep. 4 seconds to go in the first quarter here. What do you think so far, Robert?
It's pretty one-sided so far, but the fouls might come back to bite them later.
2 with 1 on the clock, puts it up. Ooh, just off the mark.
that last possession for SK there, they were Isaiah was trying to orchestrate a nice play there, but just couldn't get it done in the amount of time he wanted.
So I'm looking at the stat sheet here, Robert, and it looks like it's been a while since the South Kitsap Wolves have defeated Gig Harbor. I understand they lost by 1 point earlier this season, but the last time the Wolves actually beat the Tide, as you can see on the screen there, December 7, 2007, and another 1 point victory. So if the history is any indication, we should be in store for a pretty good ball game. Right now the Wolves have control 16-4, but like you mentioned, with the foul situation, if Gig Harbor can sit on the free throw line and get the freebies all through the second quarter, they might be able to eke their way back in the game.
And there was some controversy about Gig Harbor's last win last December. They won by 1 on a late foul call that was highly discussed.
You got any fresh bodies coming in? Looks like the Wolves are going to walk back in with the same 5 they walked off with. Trey Haslam, 6'2", sophomore, wears number 30. Looks like he's checked in. I believe he checked in just to end the first quarter there. Working to Jenkins on the post, about a 12-footer.
You might be able to see where they're going with this. Just get the ball moved around and get it down there to Jenkins.
Yeah, and like I was mentioning earlier, we'll see how long SK goes without King, just so they can match him body for body down low. Longmire playing tough.
It looks like Leon Ladeau here checks in for Austin Siegel. And then we have Iron Rybichuk in for Longmire. We'll see how that works out.
Well, you have class with Leon. Leon's a 6'3" junior. Is Leon 6'3"? What do you think, Robert? I'm talking, you see him in class. About 6'3"?
6'3". When you look at him, he is a towering man. He looks more like 6'4". Certainly bigger than his number indicates.
Well, is he 6'3" with his basketball shoes on, or is he 6'3" barefoot?
I think barefoot.
Barefoot, all right.
He's a big man.
With the shoes, he's 6'4", 6'5" then, huh? There you go. Big man Jenkins, we mentioned earlier, he's 6'6", 240, and he's a sophomore. And you got to think that, you know, as his skills develop, he's going to be a pretty big power in the Narrows League. You guys are in the Bridge Division, right? SK?
Bridge, yes, they are in the Bridge Division along with Gig Harbor. Certainly a good rival.
That's a good shot right there.
Just
off
get it
the
to
mark.
go.
I think with the foul situation, the Wolves will probably want to slow down on offense just a little bit to limit the possessions for Gig Harbor. At the pace they were going before, the Wolves are a couple ticky-tack fouls away from letting it back on the line. We're going to call Jenkins for a walk, and ball's going to head back the other way.
That last rush looked like it could have been a foul on Rybichuk, but ref didn't call it, so we'll see. Again, working the ball.
Ladeau wide open for 3. Big rebound right there. Joey Ozinski getting a lot of minutes here for the Wolves, 6'6" junior.
Sometimes working around the perimeter can free up things down the post if it ball falls.
The thing that I see is Gig Harbor is obviously outmatched as far as the height goes, you know, with the exception of Jenkins, big body. But when you're outmatched by height, you definitely have to pay attention to boxing out, and they're not doing a good job at all boxing out. Another tough turnaround jumper for Jenkins. He's single-handedly keeping in the ball game right now.
Yeah. SK keeping that 11-point cushion.
Jump ball should be in the Wolves' possession here.
Callahan is not happy. He thinks there should have been a foul. He is certainly not happy.
King checks in for Ozinski. Probably going to match him body for body on Jenkins down there, I'd imagine. I don't think it's a stretch to assume that those two are probably going to be doing battle here for the next few minutes.
You got to wonder how long Jenkins can last in there. He's got to be pretty tired by now.
We got approaching 5.5, little less than 5.5 minutes left in the first half. 20-9 SK Wolves. Thomas, the point guard, swinging it around.
Trey Haslam goes for the three, doesn't get it to go.
It's going to be an over the back on Gig Harbor, it looks like. Looks like Haslam needed to take the time there, get his feet set. He wasn't, was a little bit hurried.
Liddell will go to the line. The homecoming king in his senior night, he is certainly looking for a good game.
Off the mark on the 1-and-1.
You know, last time we were here, Leon Liddell had a pretty good game. It was on his birthday, so that might have fueled it a little bit.
That's right, that's right. They're going to get a trap here in the corner. Great job of getting that ball out of there.
Gives a couple SK guys wide
Good
open.
spin move right there. Great move. Trey Haslam. You folks are going to see that for the next few years to come. That's a walk. Not called. Tough call. You're going to get a jump ball right there. How about that? Thomas and Jenkins, the biggest guy on the court and the smallest man on the court, getting tangled up for a jump ball.
Isaiah
like
might be small, but he certainly has the skills of a big man and everything that goes with it. He is certainly a good player.
Dropping the shoulder. It's going to be an offensive foul on Jenkins. And of course, an offensive foul is not counted as a team foul, so South Kitsap will not be on the free throw line.
Coincidentally, now Gig Harbor is up on the team fouls, and SK has been laying low for a little bit.
Yep. Any foul from either team defensively will result in 1-and-1 at this point. Wolves just turned it over. Just about the midway point in the first half, and Wolves are shutting it down right now, 22-9.
Looks like that big body of Jenkins is getting a little too tired. He comes in.
You figured they make a few more buckets and this game wouldn't be very close.
Zach Hodges comes in for the big body Jenkins, so we'll see what he can do.
You know, that's probably not a bad foul right there.
Ricky King goes down hard, but he is just fine.
Looks like number 3, Zach Hodges, might have been a little bit of a temper tantrum there. He was a little bit upset with Trey Haslam as they walked away. Trey tried to give him a handshake, and now they're on the line, probably talking about it, and, you know, patching things up. Liddell comes out. Siegel checks back in. Board, there he goes. Get a feeling that Coach Callahan's probably going to get Curry back in here pretty soon, I'd imagine.
Isaiah's doing a half bad job of orchestrating the offense here as he gets the rebound.
Again, the Wolves being patient. This is something we didn't see a couple weeks ago with them, and I really like this. Patience to find that first good shot. Longmire just picked up that back foot there. Call for the walk.
Both the offenses for Gig Harbor and the Wolves haven't been too steady yet in the second quarter. They've been laying low for a while, both teams. We'll see if they can get it going here late in the second quarter.
Well, I noticed one thing the Wolves have done well is they've really pressured that point guard for Gig Harbor. Number 5, who we got there? Number 5, Karamatic. So basically what they've done is they've put 2 or 3 different guys on him, pressured him pretty much, 3/4 the length of the court, just trying to wear him out. They must know that he's the primary ball handler for the Tide.
From what I've seen, he's handling it pretty well. He's coughed it up a couple times, but for what's been thrown at him, he's been handling himself pretty well.
Well, that's a tough call right there. It looked like Ozinski might have held his footing there, but it's a quick whistle tonight. Callahan is demonstrating to the official the move that he actually put on.
And that just bounced off Osinski's leg. That's unfortunate for SK.
Nice strip by Davis.
Isaiah with those quick hands and those quick feet gets where he needs to get.
Said it before, I'll say it again. He reminds me of Isaiah Thomas, and his name's Isaiah Davis. Very, very close. That's why I call him the Piston. Figured this way, Robert, if I keep calling Isaiah Davis the Piston, and he's here for another 2.5 years or so, it eventually will catch on, I think. I'm sure hoping so. I'm going to make a T-shirt.
I think it'll stick. He always just gives it all and gives all his effort.
Well, and Tion is a good guy for him to learn from. Senior point guard, starting point guard for the Wolves. And I know that a lot of Tion's classmates respect him, and they must really like him, because every time I've mispronounced his name for the last couple of games, I've been corrected very quickly. So
he is very popular in the school. A lot of guys like him. Great guy.
Approaching 2 minutes left here in the first half with a 24-11 SK Wolves lead over the visiting Tide.
And it looks like Alan Hodges gets the 3 ball to go, so he gets that 3 in there to try to jumpstart a late run maybe for the Tide.
Ooh. Might have been a bailout for the Wolves there, but I'm sure they'll take it. We have the 3rd foul called on Karamatic. He's going to be out for the end of the first half.
Maybe the pressure's getting to him. He certainly has been pressured all night by the defense.
Ozinski to shoot 2. Troy Castle, sophomore guard, number 14, checks in for Karamatic. Again, a very generous listing of 5'10".
SK's been doing a good job of keeping their lead, keeping a nice 10, 11-point cushion the entire game.
About a minute left in the first half here.
Let's see what Isaiah can do with this one of the last possessions for SK.
Does Tion have 2 fouls? I'm thinking Tion, the starting point guard, he might have a couple of fouls, and that's why he sat out the second quarter.
Yeah, that might be why Isaiah's getting some more minutes. Certainly want to save those seniors for the last.
They're going to call 3 in the key. Ozinski called for that. Looks like he's waving for a breather. Needs to move his feet. You know, from the last time I saw Coach Callahan, it seems like he spent a lot more time out of his chair than in his chair.
He has not been happy with the calls these refs have been making.
Uh-huh. 10 seconds left in the first half. Oh, that's a tough foul right there.
Last second steal made by Gig Harbor, trying to make something of it.
Rybichuk's a senior. He's got to be smarter than that there.
It looks like they might get something out of it.
You know, I don't think there's been a timeout called in the first half. Anybody call a timeout?
No. It's been
so.
pretty smooth sailing here for the teams. Don't see any too bad of a distress for them to call a timeout.
Well, I guess 19 fouls called by the officials in the first half kind of make up for that. 3, 2, 1 left on the clock. Got it off.
Oh, and it hits the backboard.
Side of the backboard. 25-16 count, folks, as we approach halftime. SK Wolves in the lead. Looks like we're ready. Halftime performance courtesy of the South Kitsap High School dance team. And then after the dance team, we'll hear from SK coach Callahan, who talked to us a little earlier this evening.
Enjoy the halftime performance, and we'll be back in the second half. Enjoy.
You have to go here. You go to the corner. Yeah. Do you do the floor shot? Or just the... I'm going to stay on the clock. It's kind of my job. That's tough. I know. One lock down for half, right? Right. Easy to talk. I can't.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to halftime. Hope it's been an exciting first half. We're not really sure here since we've taped this before the game, but we're happy to have with us Coach John Callahan here. And the first question we're going to ask you here, Coach, you got to speculate. The last time you played Gig Harbor, they brought you guys down. What are you going to have to do tonight to pull out a win?
Right. I think, you know, last time was a great game, and I anticipate tonight being the same kind of thing. It's going to be tight. It always is with Gig Harbor, you know. It's a pretty good rivalry. But I think hopefully our pressure gets to them a little bit. They got a couple of big guys that are pretty good players, and so I think our perimeter guys are a little quicker, a little more athletic. So I think we're going to try and make it a full court game, and then hopefully our pressure kind of gets to them, if not at the beginning, as the game wears on.
Coach, look at the whole arc of the season, if you will. How you started mid-season, we're getting close to the end of the regular season. You think your team is peaking at the right time?
Yeah, you know, I think we are. We, you know, the Narrows League this year has just been every team. It's been a battle every game. There really haven't been too many blowouts. Every team has played hard, and we've had probably more close games this year than we've had, you know, in recent years. But as far as our guys, I think, you know, I don't think we've put 32 minutes together yet, which is kind of good and bad. But we are playing as well as we have played. Our last game at Wilson was a big game for us, and we came out and played really well. So we're going to need that kind of effort tonight.
So you've made it into the Narrows League tournament, right? Right. What's it going to take? Maybe single out a couple of players that are perhaps going to have to step up their game or keep playing at a high level in order for you to move even further into the postseason.
Sure. You know, I think probably our most consistent player this year has been Michael Longmire. And so he's going to have to continue to improve, but he's been huge for us. We got Tion Curry back after 5 games, and he has played really well. And so he's continuing to improve also. Our big guys, Austin Siegel, Ricky King, those 2 seniors up till now, probably haven't had the year that we had hoped or that they had hoped, but they're kind of on the upswing too. Joey Osinski has played really well for us, kind of worked his way into the starting lineup, and he's playing well. A sophomore that has come along for us is Trey Haslam. He's really probably the most improved so far, and he can shoot it, and he's done a really good job. Isaiah Davis, another sophomore, has really done really well, and then of course our seniors, Ivan and who am I missing? But anyway, yeah, I think we're playing our best basketball right now.
Coach, you've been here. This is your 11th season. You've had some great seasons. It seems like they've all been at least good seasons. Maybe the last question I'll ask you, what's the secret to your success here, Coach?
Well, I think there's two things that have helped us be successful. Player development in the off season has been huge for us. I look at every year there's a guy like Michael Longmire who played sparingly as a junior and then worked his butt off in the off season, and now he's one of the best players in the league. I remember Derek Webb was the same way. I mean, every year you could pick a guy out. So I think player development in the off season, and then a big thing for us is team chemistry. We do, it's a lot of little things, like the elementary tournament this weekend. Our guys will be here officiating the games. Before home games, we go to one player's house for dinner. So it's kind of the family atmosphere I think we've created. So I think when it's people you're with every day, you seem to play maybe just a little bit harder for them. So I think those two are probably the two things that have been consistent through our program.
All right, Coach. Well, it's working, and good luck as you continue into the postseason this year. And thank you, and good luck tonight.
Right on. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Back to the rest of the game in the second half.
Looks like we're ready to get this party started for the second half, Robert. Wolves holding on to a 9-point lead. Anything you see happening in the second half that might allow Gig Harbor to get back in the ballgame?
Well, as I see, they got all the seniors out to start the second half. Again, they're keeping that 10-point lead. That's good. They are certainly keeping a nice cushion, keeping it steady.
Quickly into King to start the second half. Bodies all around him. Goes up strong, gets the bucket.
I think we're going to see a little bit more points here in the second half. A little bit more comfortable. Some of the adrenaline has gone down. More focused. I see some more points here in the second half than we saw in the first half.
I didn't say Tion, did I? Tion.
Tion Curry is again back to start the second half. Isaiah Davis had most of the second quarter for the point guard position.
And Dave, not to cut you off, but Davis did a really good job of supplementing the point guard spot there in the second quarter. I'm not really sure why Curry was out of the game, but looks like King is down.
He is favoring that right leg.
Could be an ankle, could be a knee. I think he rolled his ankle. Looks like he's going to be all right. Coach Callahan sure doesn't seem too worried about it.
Shaking it off a little bit. This might have happened one time before. He might know what's going on.
Ozenski's going to check in for him right now, looks like.
We'll hope he gets better and can get back in the game as our big body.
Hard to tell if he tweaked a knee or if he maybe rolled an ankle. SK in that straight man-to-man defense again to start the second half.
They are certainly not easing up. They're still going tough, just as they started.
Like Gig Harbor trying to run that either backdoor or pick and roll,
Wide
leaving the point guard
open.
wide open. Yeah. Good one-handed rebound there. Wolves push it the other way. A lot of contact there. Ozinski grabbed the rebound, tried to save it.
Looks like it's getting pretty physical down there in the post. Some nice ball movement going here.
Callahan wants him to set it back up here, calling out the play. Curry.
Tion just takes it around the key and just lays it in.
SK with that, trying to steer him off to the left-hand side, playing that three-quarter court defense. Wide open for three.
Just doesn't get it to go. Gig Harbor.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
they are fighting hard down there.
You know, I think the refs might have left their whistles in the back room at halftime, because that first half it seemed like we'd hear one every few seconds, and now maybe they're letting them play a little bit. I like to see the officials be consistent with that. If they're going to blow the whistle, blow it both ways. And if they're not going to blow it at all, then just don't blow the whistle.
Another wide open three, and he drains it. Missed him before, but no doubt about that one. He drains the three.
Pulls the Tide within 10 here early in the third quarter.
Let's see a nice response from SK, see if they can get a basket.
Curry, another drive. A lot of contact down there.
They are certainly not making it easy for him to get some points. Unfortunately, he's not getting a call. He is getting battered and bruised down there, but refs aren't favoring him at all.
Wolves need to make sure they play defense with their feet and not with their hands here.
Make sure they're moving their feet to get to the open man.
Just in and out for three.
You get a sense that Gig Harbor is trying to pull back into this game pretty quickly with all the threes they've been taking.
Yeah, and Karamatic hit that first one at the top of the key and then just had the next one rattle in and out. And here come the Tide. They're going to bring in the big boys here. It's Jenkins and looks like Hodges.
Yeah, two of their biggest bodies. They're going to get in there and try to get some points down low maybe.
Well, you figure with an 11-point ball game now the Wolves lead, Gig Harbor's going to have to put up maybe some more outside jumpers, put up a few more three-pointers, and the best they can do is hopefully get their bigger bodies down low to do a little bit of boxing out, maybe get them a couple of offensive rebounds,
They might
more
have good,
possessions.
They might have a good advantage with Ricky King being out because of his tweaked knee or ankle or whatever's bothering him. He is back out on the bench, which is a good sign.
Yeah, it looks like he's sitting there with the coaches towards the front end of the bench, which is always a good sign. If he was sitting at the back end, I'd worry. But I don't see any ice on a knee or an ankle, so King should be going back in here shortly, I'd imagine.
Nice feed. And some ball work down there in the post. Gets to the open man, and they get a easy 2 points.
It's a good look. That's a sophomore, Brandon Gagliardi, that just scored there for the Tide.
The call finally goes SK's way with a little bit of a push there on.
Looks like they called Hodges for, I guess that'd be plowing.
I don't know what that was,
plowing.
but
looks like he
certainly wasn't
ran
legal.
Curry over pretty good there. I'm impressed. The Wolves looking very disciplined on offense.
not hurrying too much. They're taking their time with some nice ball movement.
The little guy inside there with a good move, just off the mark.
Karamatic left open for the wide open three, but he just cannot get those to fall. He's only got one of them to get in.
Easy bucket.
There we go. Ozinski gets a nice basket inside after Rybachuk is fighting down in there.
Now We got another injured SK Wolf.
Looks like Austin Siegel is hurting on that right arm of his. He is in pain.
I'm not sure if they caught that on the camera or not, but it looked like he might have dislocated his shoulder.
He is in severe pain.
All right, we got Leon checking back in as Siegel checks out.
Oh,
great defense.
That is smothering defense.
And he throws the ball to the bench.
Certainly some miscommunication there. Just trying to get it out there. He was just being smothered by the SK defense.
Again, the Wolves are going to probably look to limit possessions for the Tide. Curry took it in, trying to draw some contact there. Like I said before, Robert, the officials definitely put the whistles in their pockets here in the second half. They're letting the guys play. So hopefully Coach Callahan will pick up on that and maybe, try to throw the bodies around a little bit more, some of the bigger bodies.
Callahan obviously not happy in that first half. A lot of fouls going to both teams, and he was not liking it.
Substitution for Gig Harbor. Troy Castle, the sophomore, number 14, comes in, checks in, and looked like an immediate foul. He got himself in the book there with a quick foul call. 14 fouls for Gig Harbor and none for the Wolves here with about 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. That's not good later in the ball game for the Tide, especially in the fourth quarter. If the Wolves can get on the free throw line and just get free baskets, they could put this thing away.
The Wolves certainly have changed the tide, no pun intended, on the foul situation between the first half and the second half.
And on our cue, Ozinski picks up the first defensive foul for the Wolves in the second half. 2:11 left in the third quarter. 32-21 Wolves, and a very good sign as King will come back in to play. Second foul on Ozinski. Imagine that's who King's coming in for.
And again, SK is just keeping that nice 10, 11-point cushion to stay comfortable in the lead.
And number 12, Andy Rothenberg, he's a junior for the Tide, checks in for Chris Rapar.
And Jenkins misses the first free throw, but gets the second one to get in there, so he got one.
Just off the mark for the Wolves. A little strong there. That was Longmire. King to Curry. Good spin move.
The little guy getting it done inside.
Yeah, Castle called for the bump on Curry. I think Curry's using that couple extra years experience to kind of maneuver around Castle a little bit. They're both about the same size, but Curry has the game experience.
Castle just a sophomore. Certainly the experience is on Keon's side.
Oh, Callahan is not happy about that call there. Could have been a flop.
That Gig Harbor player could have been acting a little bit.
Well, it looked like his feet were still moving. Last time I checked, unless the offensive player is out of control, if the defensive player is still moving, that foul is usually called on the defense 9 times out of 10, but I guess there's still that 1 out of 10. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a foul called there. Just kind of unlucky there for the Gig Harbor player. Curry made a good hustle play, and so did the other guy, but he was just a hair late. That's actually the 4th foul on Hodges. 4th foul of the game, and out he comes. I guess it'd be out he goes.
Looking for the open man to get a basket. They're just working it along the perimeter. See what they can come up with.
See, what they're doing right now is, since they swing it on the perimeter, you got to try to wear out the legs of the shooters for the Tide. So if they can just keep swinging it around the perimeter back and forth, by the time the Tide gets the ball and heads down the court, legs get a little bit weaker. It's tougher to hit that three-pointer.
Yeah, they just keep running that same offense over and over again, see if they can get them Gig Harbor Tide legs a little bit slower there, so get a nice basket.
King hits the first one, and with only 1:12 left in the third quarter, the Tide have already reached the bonus. I guess it'd be the Wolves have reached the bonus portion of the program, shooting 1-and-1s from here on in. King knocks them both down.
He looks just fine after that little injury scare we had earlier. Coming back with a vengeance.
Oh, Curry, great move. Takes to the basket, beats 4 defenders. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to senior night. Tyon Curry.
He is just blowing by defenders and just putting on a clinic here for the opposing point guards and how it's done. He is certainly putting on a good show for the crowd.
It looks like the coaches for Gig Harbor starting to get a little bit red there. He's giving the official an earful.
And after the couple one-point losses here in the last couple years, looks like SK is finally happy to get a nice lead going, hopefully end up with a win.
Well, I don't know if you heard that chant, but the crowd was just chanting, "You can't stop him," and we can probably figure out who they were talking about. First time out of the ball game.
And it looks like this SK team has deserved it. Playing great D. Let's see what Mr. Callahan can come up with for some nice plays.
I don't think I've ever seen a basketball game where in the first 25 minutes there hasn't been a timeout called. Pretty amazing. Bizarre.
With the first half and the whistle-happy officials, that might happen. The officials certainly have calmed down here in the second half quite a bit.
Ledoux, King, Haslam, Curry, and Longmire take the floor for the Wolves. Looks like we got a new body in there. Cody Payne checked in, 6'2" senior for the Tide, down on the low block. Curry makes the three-point play happen. Wolves extended the lead to 15 points right now, under a minute left in the third quarter.
This is always nice to see. You got the three aspects of our SK basketball. We got a sophomore, a junior, and 3 seniors here, so a nice little bit. And the crowd is chanting SK power. They are certainly getting pumped up. They are ready for SK to just come roaring.
Wolves bring it back down the floor. Curry with possession.
We got about 20 seconds left. Tion distributing, taking their time.
Longmire content to bring it back out again. Approaching 5 seconds left in the quarter. Ledoux takes it up strong. Gets the reaching call.
Ledoux trying to go for the last second point, and he gets fouled. So we'll see if he can turn it into some points here.
Looking at some of your banners across the wall, and I cannot believe the South Kitsap Wolves baseball team looks like they were league champions in 1922. I think I'm reading that right. I didn't know that South Kitsap, the school is that old.
Wow, that is, I did not know that as a student here. That's pretty awesome to know that our history goes back that far.
I get the feeling that it probably wasn't on the same baseball field or anywhere near the same building.
Ooh, so close with the half court there.
End of the third quarter, the SK Wolves lead 38-22, extending that lead from halftime. And Robert, why don't you tell me a little bit about a nice little side story that's going on during this game?
Yeah, certainly a nice story here. As his friends and teammates call him J-Man, number 2 there. He is the manager for the SK basketball team. He also is the manager for the football team. As it is senior night, he is dressed in full gear tonight. He is a faithful manager and a friend to all athletes here at SK. Certainly a big part of the athletic program here at SK.
So is he going to get in the game or what?
You know, I heard a couple players talking about some plans to try to get him in the game. You know, you never know. We'll try to see.
Well, I think it's definitely a cool story that they let him suit up for the ball game. You know, I guess whether he gets in or not, at least he had the memory of getting to run out on the floor, handing his parents a shirt. And it's nice that Coach Callahan recognized that hard work.
Yeah, that is just great. How they get it, if they can get him in, that would be just great. Been a faithful manager to SK.
Gig Harbor with the ball to start the fourth quarter of play. Looks like their point guard Karamatic checked back in. King with a ticky-tack foul up top, his second of the ball game. I get the feeling that Coach Callahan's going to probably want to leave King in for a few more minutes at least to throw his body up against Jenkins. Keep him from getting any easy rebounds or buckets. And just as we mentioned his name, he picks up his third. Correction, it looks like they were discussing it and they actually called that on Leon Ladeau.
Both big bodies, you know, might mix them up.
And just watching the body language of the players on the floor, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of love lost between these two teams. I really don't think they like each other a whole lot.
Of course, it's Gig Harbor and Port Orchard here, South Kitsap. Certainly two areas that aren't exactly best of friends. Oh, Trey Haslam tries to go inside, but he gets it knocked away.
They're going to call a block here on Curry, and he's not going to like this. I don't think that he had possession as Karamatic kind of blew through him there.
Some tough calls on Curry. There have been some tough calls on all SK players here tonight.
They are going to call that on, they are going to call it on the Harbor player, and I got a feeling this coach is getting ready to lose it.
Switching fouls cannot be a happy thing for any coach.
Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live this evening. There is no filter. So, Robert, you got to mind your P's and Q's here. You've done a good job so far.
Same with you. It's been great.
Well, just remember, it's like being in a classroom, I'd imagine. It's nice to see a lot of these seniors. It looks like the crowd kind of filed in late tonight, but they're sticking it out for their guys, and that's the way it should be, supporting the upperclassmen for those underclassmen. And if you're a senior, Robert, unlike yourself, I have been a senior, and it's definitely a sense of pride that you come out and support your team, even on a Tuesday night. I used to like Friday night games more myself, but if it's a Tuesday night and that's senior night, then so be it.
It's nice to see a strong showing of parents and siblings as well as fellow students come to cheer on the team at senior night. Strong showing of the love that Port Orchard has for its athletics. And an air ball as the crowd is chanting air ball. That is harsh.
Dribble drive, no call. It's probably a good no call. There wasn't really a whole lot of foul or any, not a whole lot of bump there. And That's something King's not going to want to remember for senior night, I don't think, that right there.
I don't imagine that's happened a lot to him, though.
They called King for a really late foul there. It looked like Jenkins almost made a sophomore mistake by reaching underneath the net. It could have gotten called for a goaltend, but Wolves take a timeout. 6.5, a little over 6.5 minutes left in the ball game. 40-24 Wolves. King just picked up his 3rd foul.
Let's see what kind of words of encouragement Mr. Callahan can give to his players to see what they can get going, as they have built a looks like a 16-point lead there, with the Wolves leading 40-24. Steadily just increasing the lead, you know, point by point, consistent play. It's been pretty good so far this game. Let's see if they can wrap it up with a strong showing. As SK and Gig Harbor take the floor, it's like Gig Harbor will inbound it. Callahan again not happy with the calls that the SK is getting.
You know, we are coming to you live, folks, so we might miss a thing or two, but I just want to say we have the kid in the suit. Tide trying to work it back into Jenkins. King trying to keep the ball away from him. Good dribble drive there by the Tide.
Nice effort there by
King's just too tall, too big. And once again, an official that is out of position blows a whistle. 4th foul called on King.
Sometimes
17th foul for the Wolves.
Sometimes they don't see something, and when someone hits the floor, they got to call something on someone. So whatever happens, happens. May not agree with it, but has to go down.
David Bigelow coming to check in here for the Tide. 6'5" junior checks in. Ozinski's going to come in for King, as King had drawn his 4th foul. Once again, the Wolves are in the double bonus. The Tide are in the single bonus for now. What appeared to be a kickball looks like it's going to be a foul call in favor of the Wolves, so they're going to be shooting 2 at the line.
The crowd is, we'll see the crowd get into it here in the late stages of the game. Senior night. Clock is kind of coming down on this game. We only got about 6 minutes left, so we'll see what the Wolves can do with the help of the crowd.
First free throw's in for Curry.
We see Callahan there giving some words of encouragement to Tion and his fellow teammates.
It's like Callahan told him to go into a man defense. Straight man for SK Wolves, probably half-court man from here on out.
Tion goes for the steal, but comes up empty.
Tide swinging around the perimeter, probably looking for 3-point buckets here. Off the mark, Curry with the ball.
Oh, 2 players hit the floor. Looks like Tion's not too happy.
Curry's getting up a little bit gingerly here. Ball knocked out of bounds, possession to the Wolves.
I think he's more not happy with the call that he got than his state of his. Tion again hits the floor. He is not happy at all. He is not getting the calls he wants. And looks like his leg is hurting a little bit.
I get the feeling that all three officials are having a difficult time officiating this game.
They're not getting the angles they want, and they can't quite see the play as it's happening. They just can't get the right angles on the play. And that forces them to make some bad calls.
It looked like, yeah, Curry got up really gingerly. I wonder if Coach Callahan saw that.
Curry's getting hammered out there, and none of the calls are going his way. So we'll see how he finishes the game, if he can finish strong or not.
Second free throw up and in. 41-27 Wolves, 5.5 minutes left in the ball game. Nice no-look pass by Curry. Hits Longmire down below. Called for an offensive foul.
Tough call there. This crowd is not liking it at all.
You know, he was called for an offensive foul. Oh, okay. I'm kind of curious how they would be on the free throw line if it was an offensive foul, but I guess they didn't call it on Longmire. They called it on Curry late.
Looks like Callahan's talking over T on Curry, seeing what they can do, offering some words of encouragement.
Free throw off the mark, tied with the rebound.
Looks like the refs are getting a little bit whistle happy here in the end again. As the crowd is chanting, "You can't do that." They are obviously not happy with the officials, nor is any other SK fan here in the building. And quickly the fouls add up as SK has 9, Gig Harbor is left with 10 fouls.
And they're going to get a reach on one of these Tide members here. I believe that foul will be called on number 10, Cody Payne. And the scoreboard indicates that that'd be Payne's 5th foul. I believe he's fouled out of the game. Yep. Payne fouled out of the ball game. Castle checks in.
Cody Payne, 6'2", kind of in the middle there of the height war a little bit there with, you know, Ricky King and the taller guys gunning at it. Kind of left there in the middle.
Ladeau knocks them both down. Making sure they all find their men. They're running that man-to-man, you know, about 3/4 of the court man-to-man defense.
Some tough
Jenkins,
defense against
big body.
Jenkins. As it bounces along the rim, efforts.
Karamatic keeping him in the ball game, and Gig Harbor gets a quick turnover and a quick basket to close the game. Score within 12.
Gig Harbor coach like what he sees. He is certainly cheering on his team, hoping they can get back in this game. As SK leads by 12 points, 43-41, with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game.
Well, the thing that South has to do is they just have to limit Gig Harbor's possessions, hold on to the ball like they did so well in the second quarter. Basically, if they can keep Gig Harbor from getting the ball, you know, 15, 20 possessions and narrow it down to maybe 5 or 6, they're not going to be able to close that 12-point gap. Also look to have them bring in Isaiah Davis for a little bit more ball handling, as you know the Tide as the time clock ticks down and the Tide get a little more desperate. They're going to be playing scrappy defense. Not that they haven't been for this entire fourth quarter, but it's just going to become more intense, and you got to have your ball handlers on the floor. So we'll see how long it takes for Coach Callahan to put Davis in.
SK has to be consistent. They've been consistent the entire game. We'll see if they can finish strong and stay with it. Tion with a nice fake, and he passes it to Leon Ledoux. As the ball gets caught between Gig Harbor's legs.
Longmire to inbound. Haslam come off the screen, hits Leon.
Leon was squaring up for a three, but decided not to take it.
I don't think Coach Callahan would have been too happy with him shooting a three-pointer at this point in the ballgame.
They're up. They're up by a good amount of points. They just want to keep it cool. Callahan is not happy with the travel.
That's a low percentage shot put up there. Jenkins.
And this crowd has been brutal all game long. They have certainly been helping the SK team along and pretty much beating down the Gig Harbor Tide psychologically.
You know, it's amazing watching the Gig Harbor coach. He's had such a frustrating time when he's talking to the officials that he's having a tough time figuring out who to yell at. This is going to be a big call here because Curry's got 4 fouls on him right now. One more and he's out of the game. The closest official to the play had called a block on, there it is. That's a blocking call on Gig Harbor's player.
They had to talk it over there to find out what they were going to call, and Gig Harbor is not happy.
That was about the biggest play of the game right there because Karamatic just picked up his 5th foul, and that would have been Curry's 5th foul. So that's probably the turning point, especially with Karamatic's ball handling skills for Gig Harbor.
That'll be a pretty big loss for Gig Harbor. They have their main facilitator will be coming out, looks like maybe.
Another player fouled out for the Tide.
A great showing by Karamatic there. As a senior, luckily SK won't be seeing any more of him. Tion's just doing his best to stay solid and put on a good show at senior night.
We got about 4 minutes left in this 4th quarter, and that free throw right there puts the SK Wolves lead up to 14 points, 45-31 over the visiting Gig Harbor Tide. South looks like for conference, this would put the Wolves at 8-5 conference record, and that's got to be pretty good going into be a sub-conference or a kind of a regional bracket.
Going into the playoffs, that's not too bad. You know, they're not up there in the standings, but they certainly are in the mix. And as for Gig Harbor, this would drop them to 4-10 in the conference and 8-11 overall. That's not too good. Losing record won't get you far.
Another foul on a Tide player. That's the 4th foul on Troy Castle. You got Zach Hodges with 4 fouls. Karamatic's fouled out. And who's the other one? I believe Bigelow. Either Bigelow or Hodges fouled out too. Good thing the Harbor has, they've got about 10, 12 guys, or they might not have 5 to put on the floor by the end of the game.
As SK got ahead early, Gig Harbor got in foul trouble and they could never really recover. The game is moving on pretty slow right now with all these fouls going on.
This quarter has lasted longer than the first 3 quarters of the ball game. I don't really know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but definitely been a long quarter.
Well, it seemed to me that the first 3 quarters went by pretty fast, and all these fouls are just backing up and getting in the way of the play. Let's see if refs can ease up and maybe let these guys play some basketball.
Ledoux, the pump fake, good move. He had the ball tipped.
Just did everything right, just couldn't get it to go.
It's a good jump shot, good follow right there.
what can you do? You shoot the three, you miss. You flow your shot, you go for a layup, and you miss again. Not much you can do.
That foul on Ledoux puts the Tide into the double bonus, so both teams will be shooting 2 from here on out. 3 minutes left in this fourth quarter here. Wolves with a 15-point lead. Hey, Robert, do we have I wanted to say, coming to you live from the South Kitsap High School Gymnasium. Is this gym named after anyone? Do you know?
It looks like it has a Phil Gray Memorial Fund, and looks like a big part of it was by Jim and Carol James, but I don't know if it has a name. It probably does, but we just don't know it. I'm sure we can find that out by the end of the game.
I'm sure some of our local audience would be happy to tell us the name of this gym, if it is named after anyone or any class in particular. Do you know what year this gym was built?
I have no clue. SK's been around for a long time, as some sports records can indicate, for a good at least 90 years. Been along for a long time, and it's a nice tradition SK has.
Well, I want to say this gym was opened in the 60s, I think. Well, because the old East High, where, the East High School Bremerton, that is, East Bremerton High School, that school, I believe, was built in the mid-50s, and that school closed down a couple of years ago. I think this is a newer facility. We're gonna have to look into that.
It's certainly a nice one. Lots of seats for SK. With the levy and all, we don't know if we're getting a high school, so.
Nice pass. Heck of a pass by Curry to find Ledoux for the easier basket as he took his defenders right by.
This crowd is just fired up. They are so happy. They are so enthusiastic tonight. It has just fueled SK.
Good follow-up by Jenkins. He's gonna be a heck of a player in this league in the next couple of years. Ozinski, that's just good luck right there. Ball rattling around, spilling all over the place. Ozinski finds it.
That ball traveled from one end of the floor to the other on the ground. Tough call there.
You know, Gig Harbor, the Wolves aren't exactly out of the woods yet. Gig Harbor, 12 points down, 2 minutes left in the ball game.
SK has a nice lead, but hopefully they can keep it and keep from Gig Harbor climbing back into this game and maybe cranking out a little bit of an upset.
Free throw's good, three-point play good. 11-point lead, 2 minutes left in the ball game.
Tough call there again. As Leon Ledoux was fouled as he tried to get that layup there.
Foul called on Chris Reaper, his sophomore guard.
Leon's last free throw will build the lead up to 13.
A couple of big free throws and a 20-second timeout called by Coach Callahan.
Let's see what the Wolves can do to maybe extend their lead a little bit in the last 2 minutes. See what they can facilitate and get done so they can build up this lead, get some momentum for the next 2 games.
Everybody's off the bench now, standing, listening to Coach Callahan.
as SK breaks their huddle. They get on the court. Might want to see some quick scores here by Gig Harbor to try to get it back in.
Timeout Gig Harbor after a quick three-point basket. They're going to run the inside out. Point guard's going to penetrate and have a couple of shooters on the wings.
SK might have to tighten up their defense here a little bit to keep this lead from getting away from them. And the cheerleaders look to get the fans going and get the fans helping out the team here in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Well, I wonder when the fouling game will start to happen for the Tide, if it does at all. Coming out of this timeout, we'll be interested. Of course, Gig Harbor is going to be running a full court press, full court trap of some kind. It'll be interesting to see if they will foul immediately and make it a free throw shooting ball game. I doubt that with a 10-point lead for the Wolves, or trailing by 10 points, that they would do that. But try to maybe get them in some traps and make a few turnovers. They're going to have to turn it over, force a couple of turnovers to have a shot at this.
A 10-point lead is not insurmountable by any means. It's doable. They got 1 minute and 49 seconds to do it. Let's see if they can get it done. See if SK can hold them off.
Tide going for a quick foul. He's got 3 guys on him there. Leon will hold that ball. Just wait for Curry.
They're certainly just swarming to the ball.
Yeah, South Kitsap will not shoot the basketball until the Tide turn it over or they're fouled. I wouldn't believe that they would shoot that ball. They'd probably call a timeout before they shoot, unless it's a wide open basket. Just moving your feet, dribbling the ball.
Looks like Trey Hassan was just overwhelmed. No call there. That was quite interesting.
Well, that's a walk. It had looked like Coach Callahan was trying to call a timeout there, but none of the 3 officials heard it.
Callahan is not happy. He is very upset. Trying to call a timeout, and official can't see you. It's going to be a tough break.
Jenkins quick basket, 9-point ball game. 8-point ball game. Minute left in the game for the Wolves. Needs help getting across midcourt there.
Gig Harbor is smelling an upset as SK tries to stay in the lead and try to keep them off.
55 seconds left in the ball game. 8-point lead for the Wolves. They just have to play tight D and not give up any wide open 3-point baskets. Inside out game for the Tide. They're taking quite a bit of time. There's a good shot. Ooh, just off the mark.
Doesn't get the fall.
Gets his own rebound, puts it up off the mark. Leon with the board.
Foul to get the clock stopped. Let's see what Longmire can do to maybe extend the lead back up to 10. Get a little bit more of a cushion so that the Wolves can pull out with a win.
.6 seconds left in the game, folks. Jenkins with the board. Tide do not have much time to waste here. Quick 3-point baskets is what they're going to try to make. Little man on the floor, keeps the dribble, gets his own rebound.
A big block by Longmire.
Big block and a great job of holding on to that basketball as he's fouled. 17.2 seconds.
This is turning
should be the ball game.
This is turning into a tight game. Looks like SK will close out with the win, but Gig Harbor and SK do have a history of having some close games, and it looks like SK will finally get one of those close games. The SK fans and the Gig Harbor fans going at it. Gig Harbor fans are obviously overwhelmed.
I thought that was a pretty good chant they came back with. SK was, their fans were chanting "Not in our house," and Gig Harbor chanted back "Not in football."
SK does have a pretty great basketball squad, as they do baseball. And SK pulls out with the win.
South Kitsap Wolves 55, Gig Harbor Tides 45. The Wolves pull out a big victory on senior night. It was a little uglier than they probably anticipated towards the end of the game. The officials sure played their part in it, but the Wolves got a win, and I guess that's what's most important when you're watching SK TV. What'd you think, Rob?
If history repeats itself, and we obviously saw that tonight with another close game, it's nice to see that SK can pull out with a win in these close games that have been that Gig Harbor has been taking over in these past couple years.
That's right. I think Gig Harbor had a 3-game win streak over South Kitsap going into dated back to last year, at least a couple in a row. So it's nice to see the Wolves get a win. Again, we want to thank you for joining us live for the South Kitsap High School boys varsity basketball game. We'd also like to thank the students of the video production program here at South who made this TV program possible. Again, the final score, South Kitsap Wolves 55, Gig Harbor 45. Robert, I had a good time.
Me too.
Very good. We'll do it again.
All right.
All right. So long and good evening, folks, from South Kitsap High School.